Hey guys, welcome to the KickBack FC. Thank you for joining us once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Welcome back to the KickBack FC, your go-to spot for unfiltered, real talk, all things soccer. Here we've got it all. Going to be breaking down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and everything that you need to know to stay plugged into the world's game. We'll even tap into some other sports from time to time because if it's big in sports, we've definitely got some thoughts on it. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been rocking with us from the jump, again, just want to say thank you to all of our friends and supporters. Once again, my name is Cornelius. I'm joined by my boys and fellow co-hosts. Mar, welcome back, man. It's good to see you. It's been a while. How you feeling?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Salam, how you feeling, bro? It's good to see you back here on Sunday.
Yes, sir, man. Mar was good. What's up, fellas? Gabriel, how you feeling? Great win over the weekend. Few
Thank,
goals.
thank you, man. Yeah, a slight hat trick, but you know, yeah, just happy about getting the win. Cleveland Crunch won like what 17-6 over the weekend against a team in Michigan. So good dub. Obviously we didn't play the greatest, but still a good performance and something to build on for the upcoming season. So yeah, man, feel good. How you feel?
Good, man. I was actually going to start with that as well. Shout out to the Cleveland Crunch. Started their season off with a win. Seemed to be the only team in Ohio this past weekend to get a win. Ohio State Buckeyes lost in the Big Ten championship. Cavs, I don't know what's going on with the Cavs. The Browns, even after Shadur put up a marvelous performance, still lost by 2 points to the 1-11 Tennessee Titans. So it was a rough sports weekend for us Ohio boys, but Cleveland Crunch did give us a little bit of solace in their 17-6 win this past weekend. So, I've been all right, man. It's been a decent start to December. I wish that I'd have a little bit more to say about our teams, but I wanted to start off with a little bit of news, some hot topics that have been kind of just over the soccer world and these last couple of weeks. So I want to start off with Tony Bloom, owner of Brighton, was got caught with some gambling allegations. So Tony Bloom, the owner of Brighton Hove Albion, has been accused of operating a secret 600 million gambling syndicate, betting on football matches and all of the above. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but um, thoughts on this? Do we think that this is something that is going to be on the forefront of this football year as we head into 2026? It kind of came and went. It was one of those stories that popped up at the beginning of last week, and then we didn't really hear anything about it. But do we think that the FA is going to crack down on these allegations?
Yeah, for sure, bro. They have to. I mean, sports gambling is so big in sports nowadays. And it's just this is what comes with it. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of people making money off of this, but there has to be rules put in place for especially owners putting in bets, just because that compromises. I mean, just the integrity of the game and just kind of how authentic some of these results is. And we've seen some players get in trouble for it, like Tonali. Um, but an owner, that this is a whole nother ball game. So yeah, they definitely have to crack down on this. I'm curious to see how the Premier League and the FA deal with this, because this is the first situation of like something like this happening with an owner. But yeah, I mean, there's no place for this here, especially not from someone who's the governing body of the team.
I don't know. I just feel like this is an issue in sports. We've seen it a lot in America, just with gambling becoming very legal in a lot of states. Um, but it's different because I don't know. Gambling's been very normal in Europe for a long time, especially in England. Like you walk in the streets of London, you can literally just it's like a store. Like you can just walk into it and just place bets. So I'm honestly a little surprised that and maybe they just don't get caught, or maybe we're just waiting for more stories to come out. But I'm honestly kind of surprised that a Premier League team, yeah, got caught gambling, or the owner is accused of running a gambling scheme. So more surprising to me than anything, if I'm being honest. But it's an issue in sports and all sports, so they're gonna have to figure it out regardless.
Yeah, I thought it was just big because they said gambling syndicate. Whenever they use that word, it sounds like a James Bond. It sounds bigger than just a few people. You know what I'm saying? 600 million is a lot of money. So I definitely want to see where that story goes because we've, like Gabriel said, we've seen players get hit with fines and bans. But for an owner of a team to do this, they're going to have to come down pretty hard with whatever they deem necessary. But that's definitely going to be an ongoing situation that I definitely wanted to bring to y'all attention if you didn't know about it before. Another story, actually on a lighter note, I don't know if y'all remember this story. A lot of people might not, but 9 years ago, there was a plane crash of the Brazilian side. Chapecoense, I believe is how you pronounce the team name. But in 2016, Lamia flight 2933 left Bolivia, bound for Colombia, taking the team to what would have been their first ever Copa Sudamerica final, a historic moment in the club's 44-year existence. But as the plane actually was reaching its destination, it crashed. Of the 77 people on board, only 6 survived, including 3 players. I do remember when the story hit. It was about a decade ago. But the silver lining is after 9 years, this team actually just got promoted back to Serie A in the Brazilian side. There were 3 players that survived that plane crash. And, just under a decade later, they were able to actually to get promoted all the way back to, the top division in Brazil. So just wanted to highlight that team down in Brazil. Shout out to them. I do remember that story when it happened, the plane crash, and they lost essentially everyone. It was just more than just the team. It was coaches, trainers, staff, as well as the people who were working the airline as well. So just a heartwarming story, light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of that team. I know the city itself probably is, rejoicing, and the party down in Brazil is probably going to be going for time, but huge honor for them, and just, to pay it forward, especially after all that happened. And just to see a team go through that and get promoted after, less than a decade is incredible, to be honest, So just definitely wanted to highlight that story because I know they're definitely going crazy down there in Brazil. Yeah.
No, for sure. Before we get into our next topic, sorry, this is something that I ran through and I heard about over this past week, and I meant to bring it up earlier, but I just want to tap on to NWSL just real quick. I don't know if y'all heard, but the commissioner of the NWSL, Jessica Berman, recently blocked the Washington Spirit from giving Trinity Rodman a multi-million-dollar deal. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is we talk about the NWSL quite a bit, but we also talk about, how can the NWSL grow because, now that Emma Hayes is here, there's a pipeline to Europe for a lot of these athletes and these players. On top of that, the money is different over in Europe compared to the US, and there's just more money involved in the teams in Europe. So I found it really interesting, one, that the deal was blocked, but 2, I found it interesting that she actually did an interview with the owner of Bay FC, Leslie Osborne, and before she blocked this deal, she said, we're all for growing the game. We want more money to be involved. We want the growth and everything to expand. And we want to retain our players and keep the level high of this league. But then right after she blocks Trinity Rodman's, multi-million-dollar deal from the Washington Spirit, quoting, it's a salary cap circumvention and it's violating the spirit of the league rules, assuming unrealistic growth and things of that sort. So I know this wasn't on the ballot today, but I just want to get, I don't know if you guys heard the story or tapped in, but I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts because I think that is insane. This is like when David Stern told Chris Paul he couldn't go play with the Lakers with Kobe, like, but in a different sense. But the commissioner blocking a multi-million-dollar deal from the team that you play for, saying that no, you're not allowed to get paid this.
So
I think that's insane.
Yeah, no, and to add to that, because actually this was going to be one of the last topics I brought up under the news section, just to add to that story. So I'm not sure if either of you are aware of this. So on a similar note, but not necessarily about Trinity Rodman and the whole, her deal getting blocked, but this has to do with salary cap as well. So this is a tweet from Jess Kassouf on Twitter, or X as it's now called. It says, unrelated but ironic to current NWSL events, the San Diego Wave just won in the 7v7 World Sevens tournament. Their prize for winning that 7v7 tournament was $2 million. 3-day tournament, they won 5 matches. The NWSL salary cap for the whole 2025 season was $3.5 million.
Jeez.
So in a world-sponsored event, this NWSL team took, a roster of about 10 to the 7v7 tournament. 3-day tournament over the weekend, won $2 million, where their salary cap for the entire year, which they have to pay their players, was $3.5 million. It's weird to me, bro. It's very, very interesting to me that Gabriel, because I knew that Trinity Rodman, I knew the deal got blocked, but I didn't know about, all the extra conversations that she was having with owners. Leslie Osborne, owner of Bay FC. I know none of that happened, but it's kind of hypocritical to say that, especially if this backdoor meeting happened with Leslie Osborne and she's saying that,
it's not backdoor. It's on a pod. It's very.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so if this meeting happened and she's saying one thing and then she goes the next day and she blocks a deal which is showing the exact opposite, I feel like there has to be some sort of conversation that either the Players Association and, the NWSL higher ups have, but it seems like I don't know why they're blocking this, because this is something that will help grow the league. And obviously the women's game is growing, the men's game is growing. Why would they not want to grow the league? That's kind of my take on it. I'm confused as to why that would happen.
The Players Association definitely put in a complaint as well, saying that Trinity Rodman should be able to have this type of deal. And I don't know all of the ins and outs of the actual deal, but I just think I mean it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day. But I just think if you want to keep this league as one of the best women's leagues in sports, or if you want to start competing with the European leagues, you're gonna have to start paying these women, bro. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Or like Alyssa Thompson did, so many players. They're gonna go overseas, play for a more prestigious team, have everything that they could possibly ask for at these big clubs, at these Uniteds, these Chelseas. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just thought it was a very, very interesting, turn of events in the NWSL this weekend. Honestly, I don't want to say it's going to set precedent, but Cornelius brought this up when we were talking NWSL months ago. He was like, if things don't start changing, players are going to start looking, hey, what does overseas look like for me? Players that maybe a lot of teams didn't even think that they would even look that way, but they're like, hey, just put a feeler out there. Oh, I can go get this and play for this club, and we might start to see the great migration of a lot of NWSL players over to the Women's Premier League. But I don't know, just a random thought I had this week.
Yeah, I mean, no, those are all great points. I think the main reason why she blocked it was just because of the salary cap and the salary cap only. Me personally, I don't even really look at it as just this is a problem in the women's game. I just think that in the United States, the key is always to build up talent and sell talent. It's never been about to keep talent here. You see that in the MLS as well too. We have all these academies that we invest. That's why we invest so much in these MLS Next programs and academies, which is great because you start to see younger players get on the scene more. I mean, even just in the NWSL this season. Think about how many shout outs we had this season from people like Mac Whittam, from people like KK Ream. These kids are the kids. They're 15, 16 years
16,
old.
yeah.
And that's what we do here in the United States. We bring up these talent, we bring them, we give them the platform, and then we sell them. I think the Washington Spirit knew that two things. I think that they know deep down that Trinity Rodman's going to leave. And I don't even think necessarily it's because she doesn't think that the Washington Spirit is a good team. I just think that she's such a big star that she needs to go over there and like really kind of branch out and spread her wings. And I just them offering the money that they did was more so of I think it was more of a statement to the league and to the commissioner saying that like what you guys were saying, if we're gonna want to keep this talent, we need to spend the money because Trinity Rodman is I mean, and I would say in American soccer, she's a superstar, not just for what she does on the field, but I feel like what she represents off the field for a lot of, you know. So, but yeah, and like you said, Cornelius, I think with Emma Hayes there, I think that pipeline to the Prem to Chelsea, you're going to see a lot of Americans start to go to Chelsea. And a kid like Alyssa Thompson, I mean, she's balling over there right now.
Facts.
And so, you know, like I think you're just going to continue seeing this. I agree with you guys. I think they should scrap the salary cap. I think they should scrap the salary cap in the MLS as well too. But here in the United States, it's not about keeping the talent here. It's about making money because we can sell you off and then we can find another you here in about 2 or 3 years, especially on the women's side. You're starting to see a lot younger players play in the NWSL than you are in the MLS or any other league. Any other league. These kids are 15, 16 years old making first team debuts, starting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, it ultimately it hurts the league as a whole because when you see things like this happening to some of your superstars, for these non-superstars, it's like, dang, like I might not even be able to make, you know, the move that I want. And it's a deterrent for some of these players that, you know, have dreams of playing in the Washington Spirit or the Kansas City Current or any of these teams. But if they see how they treat their superstars, these players coming into the league may feel a type of way, you know, and they may go abroad. They may go to the USL Women's League because that is now a competitor here in America. And obviously, no, it's not as big, but if you start to see things change to where, you know, players can get paid more in a different league here in America, or we can do 7v7s and I could still be on the US national team, you're going to start to see a lot of players take, you know, the responsibility on themselves to maybe look elsewhere. And so I feel like they have to figure this out in the NWSL, or you're going to lose your superstars. You're going to lose a lot of the draw to stay here and play in what could be one of the best leagues in the women's game. You know, who's to say that the NWSL doesn't stack up with some of these leagues in Europe? But again, they don't get the Champions League. They don't get some of the other opportunities that they might in Europe. So it's one of those things where they're going to have to kind of, I feel like, look internally and figure this out because they're going to lose players. They're going to lose players, in my opinion. But no, Gabriel, thanks for bringing that up. That was actually one of the topics. I was going to save it for the end, but it's good to talk about it at the top because I think it is honestly important. Last thing I had here on the list was I want to talk about Nancy, Wilfried Nancy, man. Old, or I should say former Columbus Crew coach. Obviously, after they lost in the playoffs, there were a lot of rumors circulating whether he'd stay or whether he would go manage somewhere in Europe. And he signed the papers to go ahead and be the Celtic manager. Actually, just had managed his first game this past weekend. Sunday, they lost 1 goal to 2 goals to Hearts. Lost 2-1 at home in his first match. Tierney scored a goal in the 93rd minute, but it wasn't enough to bring them level with Hearts. Right now, they are second in the Premiership over there in Scotland, sitting on 32 points after 15 matches. Their opponents, who they lost to this past weekend, Hearts, is actually in first place, sitting on 35 points, 16 matches in. So Celtic does have 1 game in hand, but they are 3 points down right now on the table. very, very difficult match for your first, match overseas. But it seems like his first couple of weeks there have been positive. I watched a couple of interviews this past week. It seems like he's had a great relationship with the players and the staff there. I'm rooting for Nancy first and foremost. Do y'all think he can win the league in his first year over there?
I mean, he has one of the best teams over there, and they have some of the best players. I mean, as you said, they win their game in hand. They're tied on points for first. I definitely think it's possible. I mean, I think winning is just in some people's blood, and he's won in the U.S. I have no doubts that he can't go win in Scotland. So, like you said, I'm always rooting for my guy, Big Will. But yeah, no, I think he can go over there and get a cup.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I mean, he's not that far off on points either. So for him to come in, I mean, this is a guy with a proven track record. Managed one of the biggest teams in MLS and delivered. So yeah. What I will say is I will say, the Columbus Crew have had a lot of great managers in their history. He's definitely one of them. I would even go as far as to say he's top 5 for what he did in a short amount of time. I mean, he had 2 major cycles there. And I mean, as a Cincinnati fan, I'm happy he's gone because now, I mean, when you're looking at Ohio, I mean, the Columbus Crew obviously are going through a revamp, a transition. Darlington Nagbe has now left. Wilfried Nancy has now left. So yeah, Ohio should be ours for the next few years. But shout out to Wilfried Nancy, man. Definitely one of the best managers, and I would go as far as to say as the best manager in Major League Soccer the past few years. Are they in Champions League?
Celtic, yeah, they should be.
Okay, well then,
let me check.
Yeah, I mean, because I know we've talked a few times about he's good enough to go manage over there. So I'm curious to see who he may decide to bring over there.
They're in the Europa League. They actually play Roma coming up on Thursday.
That's still pretty good. That's still pretty good European competition. So yeah, this will be a good test for him. But I think he's more than capable of getting the job done here too.
No, I feel that, and definitely rooting for him. Former Ohio coach. Them Ohio ties run everywhere. Them Ohio ties run everywhere. But yeah, man. Speaking of the MLS, let's hop into the MLS Final talk. Inter Miami, shout out to the champions, hail to the victors. Defeated Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1 this past Saturday. It was essentially a home game for Miami. The game was in Fort Lauderdale, and I know it was predetermined, but it just seems funny that on the day that, the team with the home court advantage seemed to be the home team to take it. 3-1, Messi with an opening assist or, an opening pass that went to the assist. And it was just one of those games where, one, I was happy for Messi, and I was happy for him able to get his boys that he brought over from Europe their trophy on their way out, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets. Congrats to both of those players for just top-notch careers. Honestly, they won the whole gambit at Barca, and for them to actually come to America to try to get this trophy one last time with Messi, I feel like I said last year, I feel like Messi had a little sore taste in his mouth after they got knocked out of the playoffs so early. And this year he was like, look, Rodrigo De Paul, come down. We need you, And so he got one more player from his past to come down, and like we like to say, I guess he gathered all the infinity stones on the gauntlet. But shout out to Messi, shout out to Inter Miami, but also shout out to Vancouver, man. No reason for them to hold their heads. They actually had a couple chances where I think if things go the other way, this could have been a 2-1 match. The first goal coming in off a very, very, very wicked deflection from Ocampo. And after that, Vancouver was kind of on their heels. Miami defended pretty much with 9-10 players for the most part behind the ball after they got that early goal, and Vancouver was able to get one back, but not fully get enough goals. But it was very entertaining match. Sabi, I thought, played exceptionally well. I was upset again when he got taken off the field early. And for me, I think the coach didn't put them in their best positions to win. I think when he took off Sabi early, again, we talked about this during, I think it was their semifinal match where Sabi got taken off, and Vancouver went from being up 2-0 to it being tied 2-2. And, fortunately they went through on penalties, but I thought that was a mistake. Again, here he gets taken off 70 minutes in the match, 65 minutes in the match. I thought it was too early. And then, he brought on Jaden Nelson at the 90th minute, 91st minute, another player who I thought would have been a huge spark plug. I feel like if you take off Sabi, go like for like, bring on that Jaden Nelson kid. He's quick. He likes to take players on. He's one of those players he's one of those players where you bring him on, there's always a spark. You always know something's going to happen on his end. And I feel like their manager just did not manage this game in order to put Vancouver in the best spots to win. But, I know Miami feels great that they probably didn't have to see Jaden Nelson as much. But yeah, Inter Miami 3-1. How'd you guys feel about the match?
I told you. That's all I got to say. I told you right from the jump. Miami's going home with it. Exactly what happened. So shout out to Messi in the squad, man.
Mar, what you think?
I'm curious, like, how serious he takes this compared to like him just trying to make sure that he's in shape for the World Cup. And I think it showed that, like, if he plays around people who are going to do what Argentina do it in Miami, like they're going to play for him.
Yeah,
he's I think they could win. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think, like you said, I think that they definitely have to play like for him, because in a lot of moments of the game, he kind of doesn't really do much. But when he does get the ball, obviously, we here in Cincinnati know. No, I think kind of echoing what you just said. I think one thing I really appreciated was the enthusiasm. From really, I would say two, and we picked up on this. I would say 2 to 3 games before the season ended, Messi really just looked on it. He looked motivated. He looked hungry, and then all through the playoffs, he was. I think that they scored 3+ goals in every game that they were in. So obviously he was motivated for himself to obviously be sharp and still in shape for the summer, but for his boys as well too. You have to give them credit. You have to him, Busquets, Alba, Suarez. Even though Suarez didn't play, DePaul kind of been up and down. I feel like when he first came in, but in the playoffs, he does what he does best, and that's run, win the ball back, and give it to Busquets or give it to Messi. So yeah, and shit, bro. Like I think the elephant in the room as well too is like they won this one, but Messi's coming back next year. DePaul's going to be the designated player, so he's going to get that designated player money. I think they're going to continue reing up, bro. This is David Beckham at the helm here. This isn't one of these American owners that's just like, oh, we just won one. Let's just sell off our best player. Nah, like we understand the situation that we're in. We understand that we have a player kind of coming to the end of his career. We have to capitalize on this moment. So this is going to be a fun transfer window for Inter Miami. But yeah, shout out to them, man. I was happy to see that picture of him, Busquets, Suarez, and Alba take the photo. So
yeah, and Mascherano. You can't forget their manager,
him
Mascherano.
too.
Played with them.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. My last thing though too, when I'm blanking on his name. Javier, the guy who scored the third goal. When he scored the third goal.
Oh yeah,
man, this is a guy who's won at the highest level. And when I saw him, bro, if it was like he won the World Cup, like he scored the goal. That was pretty cool to see because again, like a lot of these European guys, they come over here and their commitment to not only being competitive but just being ambassadors of the game, they kind of fall short on that. But these guys look like, they were taking it seriously, and I mean, they looked happy when they won. So you can appreciate that as an American fan, anyway.
Yeah, definitely happy for them. Yeah, that's a good point you made, Salam, talking about Beckham being, not an American owner. He isn't kind of just going to sit on this win and, coast it for the next 5 years. He's going to try to go back to back. Do you think he goes back to Europe? Because I've been seeing some rumors that, Messi was asking about Timo Werner. I saw that Beckham was asking, what type of players, what profile are you looking for? And Timo Werner was one of the names I saw circulating in the rumor mill to come over to play for Inter Miami. So do you think that Beckham goes and he pulls from one of these Big Five club or Big Five leagues in Europe? Do you think that's where he's primarily going to be looking?
Bro, I would even go as far to say the other, because he's a designated player. DePaul's going to be a designated player, so they have room for one more, and somehow they'll finagle another one. That I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Busquets was there, Suarez was there, Alba was there, Messi was there, and DePaul was there. That's
because you can have designated players and international players, and they're separate, right?
Yeah, they do, but their whole team is international. Cornelius.
Yeah, I mean,
hey. We have to, but whatever. We turn a blind eye to that. But no, I think whoever that they bring in is going to be. This is not going to be like a no-name person. I think that the people that they're going to bring in are people who have either played at the highest level in Europe or people that he knows. So yeah, if Di Maria wasn't so old, I'd go after Di Maria. But sure.
Whoever Messi asked for it, bro, they'll find a way to get it to him. I saw the same thing he asked for Timo Werner specifically. You don't think if Messi asked for you somewhere, you don't think you're gonna go? I'll go play with the GOAT for 2 years.
Timo's gonna run too. He's gonna run for the team.
Yeah.
So that's also
a fact.
If Messi requests you, you better run. What?
Yeah. GOAT saying I want you on my team. You know how that make me feel? It's like, man, you want me?
They should go get like N'Golo Kante. Get him out of Saudi. Be like, we need 6 months. Not even 6 months, because the MLS season starts what? March? Start of March. So and then June, just give us April, May, 2 months. 65 days. And then all we need.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. There's already been a lot of talk. There's actually already been a lot of movement in the MLS. There's, as soon as the season ends, their free agency and their window starts. So there's already been some movement here in the MLS. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more, especially leading up to this World Cup year. But let's get into our teams, man. We didn't bring Mar here for no reason. You know why you're here, Mr. Liverpool fan. And, usually we start with the teams that lose. There are a few teams that lost this past weekend. You guys actually didn't lose, but I want to start with Liverpool because Mo Salah, he's a talk of the town right now. And it just was announced that he will not be traveling with the team to Milan. Liverpool plays Inter Milan tomorrow in their Champions League match. But I want to start with, Mo Salah. So after this past weekend, he was benched for the third time in a row. This Liverpool team has been going through their ups and downs over the past couple of months, I would say. But, Mo Salah had some spicy words for the press. He went on a whole 3-minute soliloquy, tirade, however you want to call it. He had to get his shit off. You know what I'm saying? And I have a few quotes from him, and then we'll get into, kind of the discourse that happened after that. But he went to the press after the match, and, these are all quotes from Mo Salah. He said, "It's not acceptable to me, to be honest. We throw Mo under the bus because he's a problem. I don't think I'm the problem. I had a good relationship with the manager. All of a sudden, we don't have a relationship. I don't know why. It seems to me that someone in the club does not want me in the club." Those were quotes directly from Mo Salah to the press after this past weekend. And there have been some rumors that, someone in the club doesn't want him in the club, primarily because of what he had to say earlier this year about the genocide that happened in Palestine. He had some very, very strong words for what was going on there. It seems to me that there's something going on in that Liverpool locker room that is definitely been a little bit of it's definitely been there all year, especially with the beginning of the year, Jota's death, his untimely passing, definitely put a damper in the locker room. A lot of those guys were expecting to run it back with him this year. And for them to have that, especially with the onslaught of the new players that they have, you could tell that there's something going on in the locker room. But Mo Salah with those choice words. And then you have, Liverpool legends such as Jamie Carragher come out and say some words. You also had, different pundits that had their takes on it. But what I do want to say before I open it up to you, Mar, is Virgil van Dijk. I thought that he said something pretty profound, and these are quotes from Van Dijk. He said, it's not like you have unlimited credit. Everyone has to perform. Mo has been doing that, but the manager made the decision in the last 2 games. We all want the best for the club. I'm pretty sure Mo will still want to be a big part of what we're trying to achieve because he is an amazing player and he has shown it consistently. I need him around as one of the leaders. I'm not worried. He's disappointed, but that's absolutely normal, as if you're not disappointed when you're not playing 2 games in a row. And then there's an issue there as well. So that's what Van Dijk said. He definitely stood up for Mo Salah, backed him up a little bit. But, Mar, I want to talk to you because, as our resident Liverpool fan, we've had some discussions, but we haven't really heard you kind of just take all this and kind of internalize it. So, floor is yours. Kind of first and foremost, I want to know just how you felt about this Liverpool team since the beginning of the year. They've definitely had their ups and downs. But then this past couple of days, how do you feel about this whole Mo Salah situation?
Yeah, no, I was really surprised because a week ago was the West Ham game, right? So this is all from 1 week of games. So I mean, this kind of happened out of nowhere. I didn't. I wasn't surprised when he took Salah out during the West Ham game that we would, we were just kind of quicker. He's definitely been a lot slower. So I understand like the benching maybe for a game or two. I think with like somebody like Mo Salah, there is probably some man management that like Klopp would have done that Arne Slot probably didn't do, and he probably didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, like Robbo has, Chiesa has been getting disrespected. Like I think Chiesa, like if Chiesa wanted to leave, like I would not hold it against him. You know what I mean? Like I see a lot coming out of him. Even like with Robbo, like Robbo had a great like 3 or 4 games. Kirkes is starting again. So it's like I can see like the man management thing being an issue. I do think Mo kind of blew it out of proportion though. I mean, like I don't know if he's being thrown under the bus because he hasn't really been spoken to about it. Like it was crazy though, finding out that he hadn't he hasn't been benched for 3 games in a row his entire career here. Like that was pretty. And then when I looked at it again, it was the West Ham game. He didn't play at all, just like this game. And then I think he played the whole second half of the Sunderland game, and he kind of dropped off after like 20 minutes. So it's tough. Like you if somebody isn't performing, what do you do? How do you handle that? You just see, and this is like I haven't seen anything like this. It's not out of a Liverpool player. Like this is something I haven't really seen in the league since like Ronaldo. Outside of that,
funny because that's what I was kind of thinking about it. Like it was similar to the Ronaldo situation where I feel like Ten Hag didn't really know how to handle Ronaldo, and I feel like Slot kind of doesn't know how to handle Salah. And you know, for me, I feel like the same. Arteta didn't know how to handle Aubameyang. Like, you got to think about it. Arne Slot's young. How much older than he is than Salah? So, in Salah's eyes, he's probably looking at him like, bro, you're my peer. Like, you're my coach, you know, at the same time. But, bro, you're not that much older than me. Like, you're not about to just treat me any type of way after I just won a Premier League, had one of the greatest seasons in the Premier League, and my history or my reputation precedes itself, you know, at this establishment and this team. So I just feel like, yes, he's not performing well, but you know, I do on the other hand think that Slot probably has managed this wrong, and I mean, it's a lot of frustration over there in Liverpool because they're not winning games, obviously, as well. So that adds to it. But yeah, man, I just feel like I feel like two things can be right. I think they're both wrong I think Slot shouldn't have benched him for 3 games. I think Mo shouldn't have been this, I guess, I like things to be handled in the house. So I don't think he should have been this loud about it. But then also, like I said, I think Arne Slot has also mismanaged a little bit. Because some of his decisions don't make sense, bro. We talk about a lot of managers and their decisions and how they don't make sense. Mar, why is Kirkhead starting? It doesn't make sense. Please, someone tell me. Why didn't Joe Gomez start when you guys were leaking goals for 3-4 matches in a row? Someone tell me, bro. Like, I don't know. So why did Isak just immediately start playing when Ekitike was banging goals left and right? Someone. Why did Florian Wirtz continue to start when he was not informed for time? Someone make it make sense to me. And I know there are a lot of nuances with these situations, but at the same time, I mean, I feel Salah. Salah is like Wirtz played not great for 7 matches. You know, like he didn't get benched 3 games in a row, has he? 3?
Okay. You're right. No, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I thought maybe I was tripping, but
yeah.
You know, I just feel like there is a bit of mismanagement here. There can't not be, bro.
Mar, for you as a fan, as a supporter, how do you feel the Salah situation was handled? You know, do you think he deserved to get benched that many games? Do you think he should have played, or would you have benched him as a manager as well? Because obviously there's been a dip in form. Like we can all agree on that. But do you think this is something where he should have been dropped those 2 games?
Yeah, I do. I think he was playing like shit, and I think the West Ham game showed that we were just kind of free flowing without him. He's definitely been in his head. He's dealing with a lot. I don't hold it against him. I don't think he should be benched the entire season. I just, he was. We looked better without him for those few games, right? He's going into AFCON in like a week, so this part of the season isn't really this. Like, we've been through this before. It's been long road with him, and it's usually around like. You know what I mean? Like it'll come. Like we know with Mo, like when it comes, it comes. So yeah, I think I actually applaud like Slot for benching him, because I mean, and if like, I'm sorry, like we're talking about scapegoating. Kanate is the fucking problem. Am I allowed to cuss on this?
No.
Kanate is the problem, guys.
Let's not do
Kanate.
that.
You guys,
Yes, Kanate leaked 2 goals. Look, VVD,
talk about
Virgil's a shadow. Virgil's a
What
shadow.
about Virgil though? That's
Virgil's a shadow of himself. But guys, Kanate is actually like leaking us a goal a game. Like, it's actually a problem. Like, I don't, and I love the guy. I actually like that's my guy. I actually don't know where this came from. Like, I want to stick up for him, but like it's like last game was legitimately 2 goals. Like,
I don't know. I feel like he wanted to leave in the summer. Y'all didn't let him leave. I'm not
No.
saying it's collusion, like he's meaning to do these have these mistakes, but
I'm
I
glad
feel
you
like
brought
last
that
year
up, bro.
he wanted to, I remember in the summer he wanted to leave. He was like, I'm cool, I'm ready to leave.
We didn't reject
And
any offers though.
I know, but I don't think you're willing to sell.
Yeah, no,
No,
they definitely weren't. I mean, if Madrid, I feel like
No,
Madrid
I
was
don't-
where he wanted to go because there are rumors.
And I don't even think it was. I feel like there was another team as well that like they were say like, hey, we want to figure like no, see what's going on with Konate. You see, you guys want to sell. You guys wouldn't sell. So I feel like I don't know. And he wanted to. The thing is, he expressed he wanted to leave as well. So I don't know. I feel like. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with your team, but. I think it's more than, and Konate has had very bad moments, so it's easy to pin it on one person. But bro, we can talk about a lot of players on your team that have been absolute garbage. Let's just call it what it is.
That backup goalkeeper, wow,
bro.
He was terrible.
Bro,
for like
VAR, the real VAR.
No, for sure.
No, we can definitely go around and point fingers. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's like that jumbled. Where like yes, everybody's been shit, like everybody's been poor, but I mean like there's certain key decisions that happen where like. And that's
what do you think those key decisions
Slot is like tackling a dude who slide tackling a player who's running out of bounds. And I understand like you got to like protect the cross, but like you don't do 2 feet.
You don't hit the guy. You don't hit the guy. Going out of bounds.
Like the
last game, the Leeds game.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about the Leeds game, man. But yeah, no, it's bad form all around, 100%.
I did want to say this though. First, I wanted to address the Konate thing. I don't think that he's been perfect by any means. I just think that it's so ironic that Virgil's talking about unlimited credit when I'm looking at him all season, and I'm like, you want to talk about someone who you have to show it with your performances. He has not been the same, and I understand. This cycle of players, you're coming to the end of this cycle with not just Virgil, but Salah, Robbo, a lot of the guys that were there, during this era. It's just with time that happens. So Virgil definitely has some blame to take in the back as well too. You're the captain. My thing though is again, and I said this. Omar, I said this to Cornelius, Gabriel, and Mike. I believe the drop-off happened last year with Salah. And it's crazy to say that because of the numbers that he put up. But when I look back on a lot of those games, if he didn't score, he really wasn't offering you anything. The only difference this year is that you're noticing that he's not tracking back now because he's not scoring. You're noticing that he's not beating the man anymore or whatever. Why? Because he's not getting that goal or assist. The club obviously showed that they wanted to move forward with him by giving him the extension. I think that was a poor decision. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but to give him another 2-year extension, I think you're in a tough position, especially because not only now he's your highest paid player, but you just broke the Premier League transfer record for a striker, so he has to play. So I get why Slot is like, that might not even be Slot. That might be the management telling him like, bro, we spent 160 million on this striker. He has to play. And then this other Florian Wirtz kid, by the way, he has to play too. The saga took so long with Isak. We didn't know that was going to be a thing. Ekitike comes in for big money as well too, and he's scoring. Now you have a headache because there's a guy who's scoring. There's a guy who who has to play because we just broke the record for him. There's another guy over there who's a club legend and is your highest earner. I think it's just poor decisions. This summer to me was very un-Liverpool-like. I just felt like it was just very poor planning. Obviously,
here we go.
We couldn't have seen anything with Jota, but I just think that you guys dug yourselves in the hole that you did. And now, because I mean, Slot, poor man management. But I also agree in the sense of like, bro, let the coaches coach. Why do I need to pat you on the back and explain what it is that I'm doing? You're not contributing as you were. But at the same time, I get it from Salah's standpoint of I have to speak out because he's not talking to me. I believe him when he says that. We had a relationship, now we don't. Come on. This is Mohamed Salah. This isn't, no disrespect, Connor Bradley. This is Mohamed Salah you're talking about. You're benching him for the third game. Like you avoid him match day. We just don't look at each other. Like, what are you talking about? This is the biggest player in your club's history. You know that the media is going to be after him. Jamie Carragher is going to be after him. Everybody else is going to be after him. So someone has to speak out for me. So I get him in that stance. But you guys are in a tough position, man, because you have to play the younger guys. You have to make it work. You can't take a loss on Verts. You can't take a loss on Ekitike and Isak to accommodate Salah for where he is in his career. And ultimately, you guys put yourself in that position.
Okay, can we unpack that for a second? Because you're talking about 4 guys that play completely different positions.
Hey, bro. I always said, Isak, Ekitike, Gakpo, Verts. That's how it needs to be.
Okay.
That's how it needs to be.
Okay. We understand. So Isak is 26, right? Turning 27. Yeah. Wirtz is 22, right? Hakpo is about 27, and Mo is about 33. So,
yeah.
I think, I mean, like, I think we have room for more wingers. Like, I think we're talking about a team that plays in every major tournament. We compete for the league title every year, besides this one, obviously. But we actually don't know. Like, we might make a comeback. Like, it's in the realm of possibility, right? So I just don't think it's.
I don't know about this year, but
I know.
We give y'all the benefit of the doubt.
We just give us the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, it's in the realm. So I just it's hard for me to think that we're overstaffed with too much talent and like yeah, they're expensive because they're young. It's Verts. I mean, like, he's got the white boy tax. He's got if he was not German, I think he would have been like at least 50 mil less. Like, let's be real.
I agree.
I hear you.
I'm more so alluding to the fact of why Slot made the decisions that he did, because a lot of these decisions, I don't even think that they're necessarily on him. When your ownership and your board spends the money that you do, sometimes I've seen this across all sports. Sometimes the decision is not always
like tactical.
Yeah, it's like from a financial standpoint, you guys have American owners, Omar. This isn't we're trying to like, we have to make this work. And I'm not saying, yes, you guys are in multiple competitions, so I'm not saying that you necessarily have to kick this dude out. But when I'm talking about the Premier League, week in, week out, the most physically intense league in the world, you need guys that can run, especially with the way that the game is now. You need athletes. You need people who are full of energy. And quite frankly, he's not going to give you that. And then you talk about, like, you have a right winger who doesn't track back. You bought Jeremy Frimpong. You didn't even buy a right fullback that was going to be defensively solid. Like, let him go. I got you. I'll hold it down over here. No. You got one who's just as worse as him. Like, bro. It's just, again, poor decisions, bro. If you wanted to go down this route, okay, go get a solid right back so that we can help out with going forward with Salah and obviously the problem we have to the left in Konate. So, like, I mean, I don't know, bro. This has been a very abnormal Liverpool summer for me. I never understood it. And, now I don't know. Now I'm just wondering who's going to survive between him and Amarim for the rest of this season.
Oh, come on. We're still like 4 or 5 spots ahead of you on the table.
Are you? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Because United right now is sitting on level points with Chelsea, which is unfortunate to say the fact.
Stop the cap.
Really?
Are you?
Yeah, bro. You're four places
Your
behind.
peers are different right now.
Wait, what? Are we behind you guys? Oh.
Yeah, they're 6.
Okay.
Hey, everybody got 8 games in December. This table gonna switch up real quick. But
real quick, I do have a theory on what's going to happen. I think they're both going to get fired. I think it was just terrible scenario. I actually really like Slot. I'd like him to grow into this, right? Like, this is just a man management issue. I think tactically he's brilliant. Yeah, I think they're both going to get the boot.
So I do want to move on from Liverpool, but I do want to ask you one last question. So, you brought up a big point earlier where you said that, he leaves for AFCON here in about a week. He didn't get picked for the team to travel to Milan, so he won't be traveling with the team for the midweek match tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Do you, 1, think he plays this weekend before he leaves for AFCON? And 2, if he doesn't play this weekend, do you think they may look to move him in January? Maybe on like a loan?
No. I think it would be a sell. I think it'd be a sell. I don't think Liverpool would have a problem selling him. I don't think Liverpool tries to hang on to players that don't want to. I don't think they ever do the fulfill your contract thing, right? I think he could very well play, right? I don't think Slot is gonna take it personally, type shit.
He gone. He gone. Just like Ronaldo, he's gone.
I think it's 50-50. Yeah.
There's a possibility he leaves in January. It's hard to do business in January, but at the same time, he's not playing the next match. He's not playing for AFCON. He's going to. He probably said, "Hey Mo, go to AFCON, come back, let's talk." That's probably how this is going to go. And whenever he comes back from AFCON, they're going to have a conversation on where things stand. But I don't think he plays another Liverpool match until after AFCON.
Yeah, I agree. He going to go to Saudi. Don't even bother.
Yeah, this has been 2 years in the making. 2-3 years in the making. But yeah, I think this might be the year he finally goes.
Yeah, that's calm.
Give us 50 mil. We'll go get Semenyo. Fuck out of here.
Okay. You need more than Semenyo. you need I don't know. Who's a good
I think we get Gehi, right? I think we still have that in the cards.
I can see that happening.
In January?
I can see that happening. Not January.
Not January. No way.
But it'll happen. I can see that happening during the summer.
No way it happens in January, but it'll happen.
They're in like 4th place, I think. Crystal Palace.
Yeah, that's why it won't happen in January.
No way they're letting Gehi go in the January unless you guys pay $100+ mil.
I don't even
think that they let him go.
Yeah, we'll get him for free in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Someone will. But yeah, no, I could see him going to Liverpool, honestly. But yeah, no, good talk on Liverpool. I definitely wanted to hear from you what you thought, because this has been a crazy week. I mean, nobody saw this coming, and especially when he said to the press, when he said it, the timing was kind of perfect. He knows what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. He knows he has a little bit of time away, so he can let this simmer while he's in a different country, eating his country food, and hopefully winning an AFCON for the first time with Egypt.
Do you think this was a bigger moment than the Ronaldo situation? I
think it is, just because of the magnitude of Liverpool just won a league last year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just won the league. When Ronaldo came back, yeah, he a club legend. Yeah, he brought the team back up, in the year prior, but it's not like they'd won the league. And Ronaldo was always one that we didn't think he was going to stay here for long term anyway. This whole Mo saga, we know that he's probably at the end of his tenure here at Liverpool, but for them to kind of be on thin ice, I guess, I don't know if anybody saw that.
I agree. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I think this is a bigger deal, but we'll see how this story unfolds, man. Good luck to you and your future endeavors, Mo Salah. But yeah, Chelsea. Very, very tough week. Last Sunday, I was on here talking about after this performance against Arsenal, I think we get 6 points this week. Well. Boy, was I wrong. Chelsea not only lost to Leeds midweek in a terrible 3-1 loss, didn't even get points against Bournemouth, which was probably the most boring match I've seen Chelsea play definitely in the last 2 years. Most boring match I've seen in a long time. With the Leeds match, I kind of want to harp on that match because that match I feel like we just weren't ready for. I feel like, and I've been back and forth with this when it comes to Maresca and how he rotates our players, but it's getting to the point where I need you to find your 11 again. I need you to find your 11 again because we had a chance to really make a dent in this title race. We had a chance this week to really make a statement in the league saying we are one of those teams that could potentially fight for, this title, potentially have a title race going through the latter stages of this season. And internally, I never expected to fight for the league this year because I know how inconsistent we are. But, between the red cards, between the just lackluster performances out of some of our players, and then Maresca, we always talk about how Chelsea is up for the big games. For these big matches, we can go put in a performance against Barcelona. We could put in a performance against Arsenal. We can win these derby matches against Spurs. But when it comes to these teams that may not be so fun to on the calendar, these Leeds, these Bournemouths, these Sunderlands, these Burnleys, these are the matches that every Chelsea fan will let you know we're susceptible to go lose by 4, go lose by 5, especially when we're not at home. That Leeds match easily could have been 4-5-1. Easily could have been 4-5-1. Just a terrible match overall. And I think when you make 5 subs, when you have a center back pairing that hasn't played together for the majority of the year, it doesn't, it lacks consistency. And for this Chelsea team, we're still young. I know we won trophies last year, but a lot of these guys are still young. A lot of these guys are new to the team. We need some sort of cohesion. We need some sort of consistency. And sometimes I feel like Maresca plays around a little bit too much with the strategy going into some of these matches, and it just backfires. And I feel like that's what happened this week. And yeah, you can look at the players and say they didn't put in great performances, but also you got to look at the manager and kind of look at him and say, this is a match where we should be winning. I know it's away. I know it's in hostile territory. And shout out to Leeds, man. I saw a rumor that said that their coach was also given a talking to internally saying that he needs to turn this team around. Otherwise that, he could be sacked come in January. And then he had a week against Liverpool and Chelsea and put in 2 massive performances. Got the win against us and then the 3-3 banger against Liverpool. He got 4 points out of this week where, who in the Prem thought that Leeds would actually get through this week unscathed? And so for me as a Chelsea fan, I have to hold Maresca to a higher standard. I got to hold him accountable. For me, this was just a terrible week. You have to look at this week and figure out what you did that didn't allow us to go and at least get a result against the Leeds, that didn't allow us to go and get a smash and grab against Bournemouth, because they didn't play well either. But these are the matches where if you want to be talked throughout the season of being one of the best clubs in the Prem and the best clubs in the league, one of the best clubs in Europe, you have to be consistent. And that's, for the last 4 or 5 years, Chelsea hasn't had consistency, and we're still looking for it. Even last year, we didn't have it. Through all of our ups and downs, we ended up being top 4. We ended up getting trophies. But I think now is the point where we need that consistency in the team. Arsenal went through it when they had Arteta for the first couple of years. And the issue with us is that we're not willing to give our managers time. We're not willing to give our managers the benefit of the doubt. As well as Maresca did last year, I don't know if our board or if our ownership is cool with him having this up and down roller coaster of a season. So for me, as much as I like the guy, as much as I want him to be the manager for the long haul, because I do think he's a great manager. I think he's smart. I think when it comes to the tactics, he sets us up in these big matches. But again, when it comes to these lower table teams, you can't drop the consistency. You can't drop the managing. You can't drop the level of play from the managers to the players. Nothing can drop. And I think he hasn't done a good enough job of getting that point across. And that's kind of where we are in this season. Still top 5, but this week was as a Chelsea fan, it was tough to watch because you can't come off such a high last week and then go to the super low of this week. And I think that all Chelsea fans kind of understand that we're in this transition period, but after this last year we don't want any more excuses. As a Chelsea fan, I'm not willing to make excuses. So I need
still off it.
I need our manager
you guys
to
need
have
2
that.
more years, man. You guys need 2 more years.
Wait.
Because
you said, you talk about having a lot to unpack there. Because you said this was a top 3 team in the world.
I said top 3, top 4, and I still believe that on paper. Believe that on paper.
You're not even top 3, top 4 in the Prem.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. They do this, man.
But I wanted to ask you.
But this is, and that's the issue, though, because we can be one of the best teams in the world, but the consistency isn't there, and our manager, for me, hasn't done the best job of getting that point across. Like I said, when you look at the 2024 to 25 season, we were horribly inconsistent up until April. Up until the end of March, April, we went on a 10-game unbeaten run. That's when it finally started to click. For me, I look at, okay, we had a great last 8 to 10 weeks of the Premier League season. We compound that. We parlay that. Talking about betting, we parlay that with a great 4 weeks in the summer. We get the summer off. I expect to come back and have a great first half of the year, and that hasn't happened. We're in December, and we aren't looking like we're on the up and up. So for me, it's where is this consistency going to come in? When is this consistency going to come in? Because for Chelsea fans, we can go and tout that we are the best club in the world, which I feel like we can be. But the consistency isn't there. It's kind of like Reece James, We always want to say he's the best right back in the world, but if he can't be on the pitch, he can't prove that to everybody. So I feel like right now our team just has the Reece James syndrome. We can't show how class we can be through a full 38-game seasons. We're going to have moments where we're in and moments where we're out. And right now we're out.
Why? Because you're not there yet, man. No, we're not there. As much as telling y'all letting these trophies, y'all are not there. No, just not. I'll have another year or 2. United got like 4.
You might have another year or 2 too, Gene.
Oh wow!
Listen,
this is a 5-year plan. But since there's been a lot of themes in this episode, one of them has been credit. You talked about how you don't know if you don't know if the management is kind of, I guess, backing Maresca. Do you not think that he has enough credit based off of the Conference League and the Club World Cup?
I personally, again, like I said, I like the guy. And I think that this is one of the managers that can lead Chelsea to where we expect to be our former glory. What I've seen from this ownership group ever since they stepped in, post-COVID, post the sale from Roman Abramovich, is that they're not willing to give people time. Think about what happened from 2022 to 2024 when we got Maresca. We went through Frank Lampard. We went through what's his name? Graham Potter. We went through Frank Lampard. We went through 4 managers in the span of 18 months. So for us to kind of look and finally have a manager and say, okay, what he did last year was great. Let's build on that. Right now, he's not bulletproof. This ownership group has looked at him in the past year and said, hey, if we don't pick it up, you could be sold. There are rumors all the time of us looking at managers who can step in and be better than what I've seen Maresca do right now. I don't know. Especially, I don't know who wants to come to this project. Chelsea has a great project. I mean, we've always talked. Salam, you said this. Salam has owners that are willing to spend, and we have players that are definitely moldable to become superstars. Players like Esteval, players like Josh Chempong, who I think should be playing more, because out of our center backs, yeah, he's the youngest, but he plays more maturely than Tosin and or Badiashile. So for me, I think that we just have to have a manager that's willing to go in. Yeah, we're going to make mistakes. Mike says this all the time. When you have the youngest team in the league, you're going to have these mistakes. But I don't see the mistakes getting coached out of this team. We're still having a red card problem. We still have issues with Robert Sanchez losing the ball in the back. We still have these communication problems in the back, clearly. So for me, it's just, when will we start to have this consistency? And I feel like Maresca is the guy, but he needs to – I feel like he needs to feel more comfortable, because I feel like he's still walking on eggshells a little bit. That's just me. I feel like he doesn't have the full backing of bullying them. But again, you're going to have to prove it on the pitch. You're going to have to get wins. You're going to have to be consistent. Get 3 wins in a row. Get 4 wins in a row. Don't go through such a high, beating Barcelona, getting a result against Arsenal, and then lose to Bournemouth or lose to Wolves and draw Bournemouth. These are games that you can go win. So go win these and show that we can be consistent. Show that we can play at the level of a top 4 team. And that's just where I'm at right now. We have to see the consistency. And as much as I want to back Maresca, when you do things like play Esteval too long, not take him off, or play Delap and play João Pedro in positions that they really haven't played with Andre Santos, when you have a center backs pairing that my thing is, why go play Wesley Fofana, have a great match with him, and then the next game go play Tosin and Badiashile? Like where's the consistency? If the guy is fit, go play him. Go play him. We saw what happened when you had a very, very strong and informed Wesley Fofana against Arsenal. And then the next match you go put in Tosin and Badiashile, who both have had issues making mistakes in the back all year. All year. And if it's a fitness thing, say that. But I don't think it's a fitness thing, because in the pregame pressers, you're not talking about, oh, this guy isn't fit. This guy isn't good enough to play. This guy is coming off. Play the players that are winning you games. And for me, the consistency and the change in the lineups, I'm getting back to where I want to see your best 11. When we need to go get a result, just show me your best 11. And that's kind of where I am with Chelsea. I know it's a little long-winded, but I feel like Maresca just needs to do a little bit better. I think he just needs to do a little bit better. I wish Mike was here, because I want to hear his take on it. But, we'll definitely keep talking about this Chelsea team, because whether people like it or not, we're still up and around that top 4. And I don't think we're going to go anywhere. It's just the consistency needs to be there for me. A team that has been consistent up until this last week, a week and a half, Arsenal. Started off the week with a 2-0 win against Brentford. But then midweek, Aston Villa, Unai Emery getting his lick back. It's been so funny, because I feel like all over Twitter they're saying there's no team that Unai Emery hates more than Arsenal. Every time he play y'all, he seemed to get his lick back. Ever since he was sacked. So I do want to say, Gabriel, just overall, how did this week feel for you as an Arsenal fan? And now that you guys are starting to slip a little bit, City on your neck. City right there.
This is not worth 2 bells.
Hey, man.
What are we dropping bells for?
It doesn't happen often, so
it's not worth 2 bells.
It is. I mean,
all right.
You know what?
I guess.
This is what I think you guys have had. 2 losses all competitions. So the 2 bells is warranted. That's the rule, Gabriel. Come on, damn, you lost. The sound has to go. Damn, you're just over here looking at me crazy.
Okay, I mean, if you say so. Hey, I think people are gonna be mad at me about this. I think this is our Arteta, bro. And like, I think it's a lot of factors, but at the end of the day, bro, Eze has to play in this 10 role. I don't know why Odegaard came in. I talked about this 4 weeks ago. I said if Eze keeps performing, he has to stay in this 10 role. I don't care if Odegaard comes back or not. Eze needs to operate in this space. He doesn't play the same when he operates from the left wing. And I don't know if it's just because what we're trying with him in that position just isn't working out, or maybe he doesn't feel as comfortable. But obviously, he's the 10 that we need. And I'm gonna continue to preach this until we find a way for them to be coexistent. But they have to coexist, and you have to figure it out. And we don't have time to figure it out. This match, honestly, I knew they were going to score. I really wasn't too pressed on them scoring because I knew that we were going to score 100%. So I knew that it was going to be a tough match. Obviously, this is one of the most important teams in football. But, bro, for me, this match goes on Arteta and Nkapie, man. Because Nkapie, as good as he is, and I can see the potential that he has and the type of player that he can be, but bro, he puts us in so many bad situations, and when we need him to settle, he clears the ball. When he needs to clear the ball, he's trying to dribble, and it's not working. And if you look at the goal that we conceded in literally the last kick of the match, it stems from him making a great defensive interception and getting the ball back for us, and then him literally dribbling out of bounds, which for me, we're under pressure at their place. We got our goal back. Thank goodness. It's the last minute and a half of a match. Wouldn't you think just to clear the ball upfield? I'm not a defender, but I've played in defensive roles before. That's just pretty typical and standard. Hey, we don't need this anywhere near our goal. Let's kick it up there and give ourselves a 15 to 20 second break, and then let's defend for the last minute. This guy dribbles out of bounds. They quick throw it. It leads to a cross, scramble in the box, and they score. And it's like, bro, not only did you do this when you started, not only did you put in a situation this match, who did we play the week before? Not Brentford, but
the Chelsea match.
Put us in trouble, bro. João Pedro should have scored a goal against us. You know, put us in trouble so many different times, clearing the ball when we didn't need to. And I understand you're new to the Prem, you're new to the team, but I'm kind of not using that as an excuse anymore because, bro, you're a captain for your country over Caicedo. Let's talk about it. So obviously the quality is there. So it's like you shouldn't be making these mistakes at this level. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be making these mistakes. Because before you came here, we've been trying to win titles, and these are matches that, hey, we didn't get a dub, but we at least need to leave with points. That's the difference between a 2 and a 3 point gap, and that's a big difference in the Premier League. So, yeah, no, I'm upset about the lineup, but then also, bro, we just need our players back, man. We need our players back, and when we get our players back, and Arteta learns how to figure out how Eze and Odegaard can coexist, we'll figure it out. But I don't understand why he can't find a way for them to coexist. Or honestly, I don't think we need Zubimendi and Rice starting every match. Every single match? Like, why not be on the front foot? Why not be on the front foot, get 2-3 goals, and then be a little bit more conservative? Especially with the players and the star power that we truly have. Like, I don't know. I feel like we should be a little bit more on the front foot, but it is what it is. 2-1 against Villa is going to be tough. We literally see them in 3 weeks, December 27th, at our place. We need our look back. And that's how I'm looking at it. But I think we have a favorable schedule coming up. So looking forward to us truly just getting in a groove and getting these points that we truthfully need to collect. Because if you think about our schedule this year, we've played a lot of away games at a lot of tough places this year already. So looking towards the latter half of the season, especially December, we're playing some of these teams that are on the bottom half of the table that we should be collecting points against, and even the bigger teams that we're going to see later this season, we'll see a lot of them at home too. So a lot to look forward to, but we need to figure out this Odegaard as a situation ASAP.
No, I feel you, bro. First, I just wanted to say I love the Caicedo stray, but
It's not great. It's just
it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's who wears the
It's not
armband.
even a stray.
Definitely a stray.
But
It's not even a stray.
I agree with you, Gabriel. I don't know if you guys. I actually brought this up at the beginning when we did our thing. When we did our season preview, I hadn't even seen Eze kick a ball yet for Arsenal, but in that 10 role, I mean, he's just offered you guys something different. You guys were already a good team, and him in that position, I think him just closer to Saka, bro. Like, you can't really double down on Saka now because shit, there's somebody else that's just as lethal in the attacking third end. I mean, they even had a good connection last game, but I think it was called offsides. Saka was a little bit offsides, but nah, bro. I mean, it's a good position to be in. I just think sometimes these coaches, man, they coddle these players. I think the evidence is there. We know who the better player is. Just put the better player in the position.
I don't even want to say the better player. I just think for what our team needs in this current moment, he's doing that for us. He's scoring. Like when Odegaard was scoring goals and getting assists every other match, when did I complain, bro? I didn't complain. I didn't say, oh, we need this player to go replace Odegaard, because no, he was scoring and he was assisting in these roles. And the past couple, outside of last year, 2 years ago. So for me now, it's like you haven't really been doing that the past year and a half. Scoring at the volume that you were, assisting at the volume that you were. You've still been great for us, yes. But what our team needs is someone to be scoring and assisting in that role. Because when we went on the run we did 3 years ago, everyone contributed. Right now, you're not contributing, and we have a guy that's contributing. So I don't know. I think this midfield needs to change. When we need our offensive player back, our offensive players back healthy for sure. But this midfield is good. It's great, actually. I'm not going to say it's good. It's actually great. But if we want to take a leap, it's going to have to change. For certain matches, it'll have to change. And hey, man, he's called a lot of big decisions. He's had a lot of big decisions in the past. We'd be ballsy enough to make another big decision, because we're going to need it if we want to start grabbing points against teams that we ultimately need to grab points against that are right on our necks. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Have you seen City this year yet?
Yeah, we tied them at the Emirates, and we have to go to City.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not scared about against anyone in the league.
You still have to see Liverpool.
Yeah, we have to go. We'll see Liverpool. We play them. We play them at our place. Yeah,
First week of January. That's not going to be good for us.
So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not tripping about it. Like I said, we played a lot of away games so far, in a lot of tough places. Aston Villa early, top 3. Chelsea when they were top 3. United started the season away. Liverpool away. Like, I'm cool. That's fine. We'll get our legs back, and I'm cool with that.
When's City at home? Isn't that soon?
Nah, I don't think so.
Early January, right?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the next week, good brother. The next week.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got a team that hasn't won against anyone. If we lose against them, like I said, I don't think I should be joining the pot that week.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great segue talking about teams that haven't won. Wolves just this past couple hours saw Manchester United. Another disappointing match for Wolves at the Molineux. 4-1 win for United. This was big for them. You guys needed this match. Like I said earlier, you guys are now level on points with Chelsea, sit right under us in sixth place on 25 points. I know you're still Amarim out, but one, it was interesting for me to see Mason Mount get the start in that 9 role, obviously a false 9 position, but he scored. He looked good. This team's, I mean, it's Wolves, so you could take it with a grain of salt, but these are the matches where you want to see your team go and score 4, to know that you actually have that in you to go and be able to, get that goal differential back up. So for me, looking at this United game, I saw, more positives. And, like you said, you're losing 2 of your best players in AFCON in a couple of weeks. So it's good to see some of these other guys start to get on the scoring sheet. So how do you feel about the match, though?
I mean, yeah, the match was what it was, man. We got the 3 points. We played a really struggling Wolves team. I haven't seen a team struggle as much as this Wolves team has this season. I mean, I think Gabriel said they may not get their first win until January. Bro, I think it might be wrapped up by January for them, from just the way things are looking for them. But no, I mean, like the 3 points obviously takes us up to sixth place now. We're tied with Chelsea on 25 points on the season, which is ultimately the most important thing. But I don't know, man. I'm not really gonna gas this 4-1 win. Bruno got a goal to 2 goals and an assist. So obviously on paper, everything looks good. Mount got his goal. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but I don't know, man. I still don't see like where this team has improved. And I say that because, this is this Wolves team is in last place for a reason. And I said in the summer, I said day one, what I need to see from Amarim and the team is an identity. And if we're not going to be able to play the way that we want to play against Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool, I get that. Those are tough teams, the traditional Big Six teams or whatever. But against a team like Wolves, I would kind of anticipate, kind of seeing something. It's nothing. Honestly, I thought I was watching Soccer Aid at one point, just because I just thought, like, man, the game was so poor. Wolves, I mean, like the turnovers, bro. Like it's hard. Like we punished them off of their mistakes, which was great, right? All good teams do, but I don't know, man. Um, I'm not gonna get carried away with this 4-1 win. I mean, last game I think we tied West Ham right at home, a struggling West Ham team, and I wasn't here a week before that. We had I think lost to Everton at home,
yeah.
and we were a man up. Mind you, I had never seen a teammate strike another teammate, get sent off. I've never seen that before. Only in a United game would that happen. I feel like if you're my
And y'all
teammate,
still took it out.
if you're my teammate, if I hit you, I think it's warranted. I think that's crazy. But nonetheless, man, I've said this many times. I think there are going to be moments in this season where the manager really has to help us. And I mean, you have to question still, even with this win, like, why are some of these players not playing, man? We already know how you feel about Kobe Mainu, like generational talent. He's fighting for a spot for Bruno. I don't know. But like you're not playing Euro. Lisandro Martinez is back now. Do we have to keep playing Luke Shaw? What are we doing, man? And like,
Shaw ain't look bad.
oh, he ain't look good either, Cornelius. Well, I just think here we are.
But my thing is, even when Martinez, and I'm just specifically talking about him because you brought him up, even when he was fit, he was getting dunked on. Like he wasn't playing the best either. So I feel like in this, whatever Amarim wants to play in this setup, this 3-back that he's been doing, Luke Shaw fits the system. 5-back, 3-back, whatever you want to call it. Luke Shaw hasn't been terrible since he's been back and healthy. So for me, I know you have guys on the team that you don't necessarily want to see start or play as much as they have been, but this is the team that's been getting you these wins. Yes, they've been also not looking great in the losses, but this is the team that's been getting you the wins. You don't think that they're starting to grow with something here? Because the only reason I say that is because, you haven't been here for the couple of weeks. Yeah, you guys lost to Everton. That match was terrible. There's really no excuses there. But in these wins, you're starting to see your players play. You're starting to see Bruno link up a little bit more. Yes, like I told you, Mount isn't the best player, but he's someone that's going to give you energy. He's going to run in the midfield as a false 9. He's going to drop back, get the ball, 1 touch, 2 touch. He's technical enough to score in these areas. You're starting to see players that in the last couple of years haven't necessarily played, and they're starting to get more results. So is there not anything to say there?
No, because
you really don't rock.
I'm looking at the formula, bro, and it's hard for me to get carried away with these results and the goals and assists of certain people just because I'm looking at the sustainability for the season. We only play 1 game a week. And I think for you, like, we're in a unique situation from all of you guys. You guys, there has to be a little bit more of a strategy in terms of your man management, your team management, the player management, because you're playing 2 games a week. We don't. The last time I saw these guys play was last Sunday. It's Monday today. We only play 1 game a week. We still don't have a consistent 11. We still don't have a rhythm. We have more time than ever to be on the training field, and there is no rhythm at all. I watched the Cleveland Crunch play for the first time. Gabriel, you guys looked better than we did. And it was your first game. This is ridiculous, bro. You talked about what? Against Crystal Palace? Yeah, we got the win, but Crystal Palace was poor on the day. Okay, you know what? 3 points is 3 points. I'm not complaining. The tie against West Ham, the tie against Nottingham Forest, the tie against Tottenham, and like, bro, it's again. My last thing is just, I said what I said about Kobe Mainu, like many times. I just think that it's crazy. You would go to the extent of playing a number 10 in Bruno Fernandes in that double pivot role as opposed to playing an actual natural center mid in that position, which then throws off a lot of different things. Bruno looked great today. One of the reasons why I knew that he was going to get a goal or assist today was because we were playing Wolves. Was because today in that double pivot, he didn't necessarily have to stay there. He occupies the same spots that Mateus Cunha does. And people are already starting to get on Cunha. Is he a waste of money? Is he even doing that? Are you kidding me? This guy was one of the most exciting players in the Premier League last season. And all of a sudden he comes here and he can't be who he is because Bruno is occupying the same spots that he's trying to be in from a central midfield position. So, yeah, when I look at the setup of the team, I'm like, Mount, I think, is going to be a big player for us. But my thing with Mount has always been, you're not going to stay healthy. You're not going to. The goal that he took today, the way he took it, I loved it. The placement, the technique, that was great. But next week, something will happen and then you'll be gone for another 5 to 6 weeks. So, like, again, and honestly, this is his opportunity. Not just his opportunity, but I'm looking at a lot of guys. And Mbeumo's about to be gone as well, too. Even Mbeumo, bro. I love Mbeumo. But the last few weeks, I feel like he's kind of being dragged down as well, too, just with everybody else. So, nah, bro. And I mean, all the guys that you're saying, Cornelius, Luke Shaw, all of them, they will get. That's why I'm calm about it, because they ultimately will see them. And Mbeumo's gone now. Ahmad's gone. Mazraoui's gone. So, yeah, Luke Shaw will play. Look at some of the goals that we can see the past few weeks. And look where Luke Shaw's at, huffing and puffing. That's crazy, man. I just think that, like, this is another situation where you have a big summer tournament, international tournament in the summer, and look who all of a sudden is available for every game. Bro, I don't buy this at all, man. And quite frankly, I just think the man management is just poor. And I know it sounds crazy because we won 4-1 today, but this is one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the Premier League. Again, like watching there wasn't one player, respectfully to anybody on Wolves, there wasn't one player that I saw today that I was like, wow. Usually there's one guy or two guys where you're like, oh, damn, like this guy, we have to watch this guy. Nah, shout out to you, Bellagrand. But like, aside from that, bro, nah, man. And again, mark my words. There will be points in this season where the manager will need to influence the game. And he shows you that by his decisions week in, week out. All the African guys are gone. Our best players are all gone now. So your Luke Shaws, your Mason Mounts, your, I don't know, the Lows, all those guys. We'll get to see that. And the worst part about it, too, is we're about to approach the most congested part of the season. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Imagine Mateus Cunha being a flop. Imagine.
No, that's funny. I think that's a good place to end it there. I'm still Ammer in. I think he's doing a decent job. Again, like I said at the top of the year, you guys are going to go through your ups and downs. But some of these draws, like that West Ham draw, that Nottingham Forest draw, I think those are matches that you potentially would have lost last year. So for me, seeing that some of these L's are turned into draws, and some of these matches you guys are actually winning, it's I know you probably don't see it, but for me as an impartial, y'all look to me a better side than the first 3 or 4 months that Ruben Amorim had with this team. So
I've never seen a team, but by the way, my last thing, that I think we're in third place for most goals scored. We have 26 goals on the season, and we play 3 back, 5 back, and we've conceded 22 goals. That's crazy. That's coaching. That's coaching, bro. 15 games. At some point, we have to realize, damn, man, we play 1 game a week. Short up. I don't know. It's tough, but
fair enough, man. Fair enough. G, how do we do on our locks? I know I'm gonna just put it out there. Liverpool, I'm never picking you for any of my locks ever again.
Yeah. 2-2 on the weekend. Not bad picks though, boys. I mean, hey, we came out even. You're winning money with us. Regardless on the year, we are positive.
We need to up this price too. I'm not happy with this anymore. It's not sitting well with me because this is crazy. We have Champions League right this week.
Yeah, we got Champions League this week.
All right, let's go through these. So, Mar, we're just going to go through all the Champions League match days. I'm going to go through these games. So just tell me.
Quick answers on who you think's going to win.
Damn, 10:30. Okay. Match day 6 of the UEFA Champions League. Let's start with Carriap versus Olympiacos.
Olympiacos.
All right, okay. Sorry, I just lost it. Bayern Munich versus Sporting.
Bayern.
Yeah,
Bayern
is one of the toughest teams in the world right now, man. I'm siding with Bayern. Atalanta versus Chelsea.
Where is it?
Time to get our look back. It's away. It's in Italy.
It's in Italy.
Ooh.
Yeah, both teams to score.
Yeah. Both teams to score. I don't know.
I'm taking Chelsea, though.
I'm going to go Atalanta. Let's go ATL. Monaco versus Galatasaray.
Where is it?
It's in France.
In France. I want to see Pogba play a little bit more than just a little cameo at the end, man. I'm going to go Monaco.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of bummed out to see kind of where I thought he would have been kind of a little bit more up to speed by now. But, I know it's a marathon, but shout out to Pogba. Union Saint-Gilloise versus Marseille.
Marseille as well, yeah.
Marseille's been pretty good in the Champions League this year. PSV versus Atletico Madrid.
Where is it?
It's in
It's at PSV.
At PSV. Atletico are away.
I'm gonna go Atleti.
Okay.
Bet the over.
I'm a PSV.
I'm gonna go PSV.
Okay. Day 2 of match day 6 in the UEFA Champions League.
You missed a couple.
Did I?
Yeah, you missed some big ones.
Who did I miss?
You missed Inter versus Liverpool, baby.
Sorry. Sorry. Damn, I missed some big ones. You're right. Barcelona versus Eintracht Frankfurt.
Barca.
Barca.
Mm-hmm. Out the Rashford. Inter Milan versus Liverpool. Well, we know who's not showing up. So
I'm a strong Inter on this one.
Yeah, I'm Inter for sure.
Yeah. What's his name? Not Lissandro. Lautaro. Goal or assist. Tottenham versus Slavia Prague. Tottenham actually got a win over the weekend.
They did. I'm gonna go Tottenham because they're at home.
Yeah, I'm going
both teams to score. Give me Slavia Prague, man. I can't bet on Tottenham, bro. I'm never
going win or draw. Okay.
Slavia Prague.
Okay. So that's the last game of the Tuesday game. So Wednesday, day 2 of the UEFA Champions League on match day 6, we have Villarreal versus Copenhagen.
Villarreal.
Okay. Mar.
Villarreal.
Okay. Karabakh versus Ajax. I'm going Karabakh.
I'm going Karabakh. They're at home. It's tough to play there. I'll let you know.
Really?
Hey, man, they got the stadium was rocking, bro.
Oh, shit. I gotta get hit.
Wout Weghorst. Leverkusen versus Newcastle.
I'm gonna go Leverkusen.
Okay. I'm gonna skip this one. We'll save this one for last. Benfica versus Napoli.
Napoli, they've been running crazy right now.
I gotta go Napoli.
Okay.
Yeah, Napoli.
Club Brugge versus Arsenal.
Come on, talk about some dumb questions.
I'll go Arsenal.
Who's at home?
Arsenal's traveling this week, Mar.
Oh,
okay.
Arsenal.
Going to Belgium.
Okay. Athletic
Arsenal's going to
Club.
score 2 corners.
Yep. Hey.
Cool with it.
Yeah. As long as the ball goes in the back of the net. Athletic Club versus PSG.
PSG.
When did they officially change their name?
From Bilbao? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I think. 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was always like that, no?
Nah.
It's officially like Athletic Club now.
It's Athletic Club. It used to be Athletic Bilbao, but okay. Juventus versus Paphos.
Juve.
Shout out my guy David Luiz, man. I'm gonna go Juve. Dortmund versus Bodo Glimt.
Where is it?
It's in Germany.
Dortmund, but take the over.
Dortmund.
Yeah. Isn't it so crazy that that's your reputation? Like you know you're going to score a lot. Y'all just can't keep the ball out of the over. Last one, the big one for the day: Real Madrid versus Man City. I think this is a good litmus test for both teams. Honestly,
it's crazy because they're saying that if Xabi Alonso loses this match, he might get sacked.
Stop it, bro.
That's what streets saying, bro.
What are you talking about?
That's what the streets is talking about. I mean, I have Real Madrid fans telling me this.
Why would he get sacked?
Sacked and go where? To Liverpool?
No, but they are looking at they are looking at Klopp. They're making an approach to Klopp. Where's it down?
Real Madrid?
You guys are gassing this.
This is Fiheches though. This is Fiheches, which is like you guys have known.
We
Liverpool?
actually, I might be guessing.
Yeah.
I'm putting a little flame on the fire.
No. Real Madrid. The Real Madrid are looking into either Klopp or Zidane to replace him. It's on Fiheches, which is that's like the Spanish rumor mill.
Okay. I thought you meant Liverpool. I said, whoa. You know, FSG ain't going for that.
We're not. Alonso's not getting sacked anytime soon, so let's just stop that thing.
Yeah.
For this match, where is it? Where's the match?
The game is in Spain. It's in Madrid. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm going Madrid because I got to.
They got to win. It's a must
I
win.
know Madrid.
But City, man,
I'm not gonna lie. I think Man City's the better team at the moment.
I would say the same thing.
I've also just kind of seen a little bit more of City this season, but Real Madrid, I mean, we know what they are in this competition. Mar, what you think?
City's a better team right now. I think they're waking up.
That's
It's about to be that part of the season.
I agree.
that's fair.
Unfortunately, I agree.
I agree too.
All right. And that's match day 6 of the Champions League. Shout outs. We'll get out of here. I did have a shout out. I'm blanking on it though.
I'll start.
Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, so my shout out is actually Christian Pulisic. Coming off, he didn't start this past weekend, but came on and scored a brace in their win over Torino away 3-2. Puli is quietly putting together a very, very good campaign this year. He has 7 goals and 2 assists in the league. He started in 5 matches out of the 9 that he's played. I believe he was coming off a little bit of a knock a few weeks ago. Look, man, it was a lot of noise about him over the summer. Put his head down. He dropped that documentary, and then he just started balling. So, look, I've had my reservations about Buddy. I've said what I've said on this podcast, but at the end of the day, we need Pulisic to be in form and playing his best come next summer. And I mean, Milan's in first place right now in Serie A. I really am, I've been paying attention to Serie A this year just because of what Napoli's did, because of Milan, because Inter's good again this year as well. Serie A is very close. When you look at their top 4, top 5, top 6, it's all within about 6 points right now. So if you guys aren't paying attention, Serie A is very fun to watch. And I'm keeping tabs on Puli. I've been watching a little bit.
They're saying they're giving him shouts for Player of the Year.
Yeah, I know. I ain't gonna gas it. I'm just letting you know he's putting together quietly a very good campaign right now.
I ain't gonna lie. I hope he wins it, just to show him that like Americans, we can get it done too.
I agree.
That's a good one. My shout out, man, is gonna go to Neymar, my boy Neymar. He helped Santos escape the relegation fight. So when he came to Santos this season, Santos was
Bottom 3.
Yeah, bottom 3. They were, at the risk of being relegated, but he came back, was a big part of, why they escaped, and they got the points that they needed to stay afloat into the league. And yeah, bro, he even played through I think a meniscus injury as well too. They were advising him to get surgery, and he said, "Nah, like I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna make sure that the team is good, and then once we are secure, then I'll go get the surgery." So he just wrapped up his last game. He said he's about to get surgery, and he's focused on the World Cup in the summer, man. So yeah, man, shout out to you, bro. I hope you're healthy, and I hope that you're on that World Cup team, because they definitely need you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be short and sweet. Quick shout out, man. Shout out to Cleveland Crunch. I just want to shout us out one time. Yeah, just happy about the way we started the season. A lot of things going on. So happy about the way we started the season. Good win, and I'm just looking forward to our home opener in our match on the 20th. So yeah, man. Shout out to us. Great win. We move.
Omar, you got anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to you guys, man. Miss you guys. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Always, brother.
Oh man.
Yes, sir, man. Omar is
OG member.
OG member.
Yeah.
Definitely all of season 1. I don't know if you know this, Mar, but you will be our KickBack FC correspondent for the AFCON. So buckle up, bro.
Yeah.
We got a little budget for you, man.
I'll be there.
But nah, man, shout out to you, bro.
Oh,
Safe
yeah.
travels there, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, good episode, guys. Shout out to Mike. Is Mike still here in the lobby?
No,
Nah, yeah.
he up out of here.
Yeah, man.
Good old Michael.
The thought. You know what it is? It's because United are tied on points with Chelsea now.
Yeah, he don't want to talk.
It's honestly disgusting work.
Yeah. We're neighbors. We're damn. I remember because Mike was saying that you guys are fighting for the Premier League, so I guess we are too.
Hey, we're only 2 points behind you guys, so like,
Yeah, it's Arsenal's there for the taking, or City. We'll see.
Here we go.
But appreciate everybody for tuning in. Good episode, guys, and thank you for joining us on KickBack.